What's up guys, how's it going? Philip Starrett here and welcome back to another episode of my Spring Boot GraphQL series. And enjoy the beautiful view here. Come closer, Chris. Give them a nice view of these frosted trees. Nice little beautiful valley here. Absolutely beautiful place to be. And what we're going to focus on today is the GraphQL extended schema validation. And this is kind of a new library that's been introduced to GraphQL. And I've actually never used it before. But what it's going to do is allow us to take away the annotations we have in our Java pojos. So like if you think about the input validations, we can remove the validation constraints from there based on the pojos, and we can actually transfer them validations into schema directives directly on the schema. So that means we no longer need Java Bean validation. We can put that directly in the schema. And as I said, I've never done this, and what I want to do is do something new. And actually, I want to share my screen as I learn this. So I'm going to do this all live, and I'm going to figure it out and record that and share that with you. So, hope you guys enjoy this beautiful wee valley here, wee lake. We're in Switzerland. This is a place called Zug. And if you look over here, this is pretty much what it's like everywhere on days like this at the lake. So hope you guys enjoy this video, and thank you very much for watching. What's up guys? So let's go ahead and get started with this GraphQL-Java-extended-validation library. First thing I do when I go to a new library is actually check the issues. What are the open issues? And I did this just a minute ago, and I noticed that there was quite a big issue with this library, but I want to do the tutorial anyway. So at the current state, it looks like if you have an input type, the directives on the input type do not work, but the directives on the argument level do work. So let's go ahead and actually build this, but we're still going to use the validation on the argument level, because there's many use cases in GraphQL where you would like to do that. So let's open up the possibilities, and I'm sure in the future we will get the validation on the input types as well. Maybe we can contribute to open source to get this pushed through. Second thing I do is I come into the released versions. So we want to get a matching dependency. So I go to all releases, and I'll see there's two tracks. There's 15 and 14. So these are in sync with GraphQL Java. We use GraphQL Java 15 in our project. So let's go ahead and grab the newest, 15.03. Here, let's refresh this. But actually we can't resolve 3. So I try to get 2. And I can't get 2, so I tried to get 1. So I fall back to the latest one in the maven repo I can access here. So now it looks like we have the GraphQL extended validation on our class path 15.01. Perfect. So now we can get started. So let's actually read the docs and let's see what this library can do for us and see which features we want to use. So we're going to get nice directive constraints on our schema. So actually here in these types, well, apparently this isn't supported, but we can have it at least on the argument level. And this is cool because we don't need to put them on the Java pojos. So keep that a wee bit cleaner, keep the logic a wee bit more in the schema. And it's nice that it follows the same approach as the JavaX validation. So this is going to be really, really sweet. It also supports Java expression language, so that's really nice. So we can have some nice expressions within our directives. And we also get access to the object, so we're going to try this. Custom error messages, very important. Okay, so we can use the resource bundle message interpolator or whatever. So let's open that up. Okay, so we have to create a ValidationMessages.property on the class path, and it'll load up the properties. Okay, so we can use the directive to point to the property key, and then the property key is loaded from this class on the class path, and that message will be displayed to the user. Okay, simple. Locale support, okay, different languages. Resource bundle, I'm sure that's the same. We also need schema directive wiring, so we need to set this up in our project. So if we're using GraphQL Spring Boot, we can expose a bean of the runtime schema wiring, which is this validation schema wiring, and this will automatically be applied to our schema builder. So what we need to do is copy this stuff, and we need to add a little bit of config in here. So let's go ahead and create, let's call this validation directive config. Make this bean, and then we'll use the IDE to automatically give us the correct return types. First of all, let's just import this stuff, and here we return this. Okay, so this contains the default standard library provide directive constraints, so that's cool. So that's giving us the directive constraints, and here this is going to rewrite our data fetchers that the rules apply when the validation occurs. Okay, nice. So that's going to be pretty cool. And we should need a breakpoint in this guy here. So we should have a directive wiring when we're actually building this schema parser, and that'll be reflected inside this GraphQL schema builder here. Okay, cool. And this is done automatically for us by the framework. Okay, nice. So you can add your own. We don't need that for this. So let's go ahead and start actually using the annotations. It's pretty cool. Let's actually test this frickin' server runs. So it'll be first step in my debugging. Okay, it seems to boot, so seems to like it. So what we'll do is we'll add a new mutation, because we know that the input types are not supported yet here. So update bank account, and then we'll pass in the ID, and then the validation we want to put is on the name. We're going to use a string, and also let's just say age. Make this an int. And then we open up our resolvers, or mutation resolvers. Let's just copy this because I'm lazy today. Update bank account, and then here we have an ID. We have the age. Okay, I could have just reused that, whatever. Okay, ID, name, age, save. Put a breakpoint here, and let's just test this works before we add our validation. Okay, that bits up nicely. And mutation. Okay, we need to refresh the page. Update bank account. ID. I need to pass some kind of UID, so I'm going to steal one from here. Let's just pass an ID. And then I also need a name. So set blank, and then we'll go age. ID. Undefined variable ID and update bank account. Okay, let's just see if there's a problem here. I don't want to spend too much time on this. Okay, so not too sure why that wasn't being substituted. Aha, because we're not passing it in here. Let's just update this. Okay, cool. So now we have it working. So let's actually go ahead and use the validation now. So if I stop this, I want to put a breakpoint here. I have one here, and let's go ahead inside update bank account, and we want name to be a string, and we want it to be not blank. So not blank. Okay, let's go ahead, debug this. So inside wiring, we see the validation wiring, and inside here we should have rules. And in the rules, here's all of these guys. So that looks nice. Let's go ahead and play that through. Don't need these breakpoints anymore because we know that's in the schema. And let's go and update the bank account. Ha, perfect. So name must not be blank. That's nice, but we don't want this message. Say if we want a more custom message, then how do we do that? So we seen a bit earlier up here, we needed okay. So we go here, we open this again, then we get the name of the file, and then we go to the class path, create the file. And then we need to create a key, and what we'll do is we'll create this first of all based on the mutation name, and then the field, and we want to have some kind of custom error message. So let's say like we want to access the GraphQL argument name, so we can go $. Oh, so GraphQL argument name must not be blank. Let's retry this. Oh, we need to add this to the directive. So down here in name, we have message. So message update bank account name. Stop that. Restart that in. We come back here and then we play it again. And now we have name must not blank. Cool. So we have our custom validation working. What else can we do? So let's check out age. Let's take one of the more exotic annotations. So let's see. Okay, let's use this expression. So let's take expression. So age, so the directive comes after the type, so expression. First of all, we want our message to be custom message. So let's get this dot age. We bring this in here. And then we'll say name must be less than 500. So age, and then we want the actual value, so validated value. Must be less than 500. Okay, so that looks fine for an error message. And inside here, we need the actual expression. And let's put this first. So this will be value. And then we're gonna need something like $. And then here we need the actual value, so the validated value. So this value must be less than 500. Okay, let's try this. I don't think I need a comma, but who knows. Let's see if this starts. Okay. Okay, so fill up 30 should be fine. But then we go to 499, it should be fine. 500, we should get an error message. Aha, EH must be less than 500. Okay, so looks like we have this $ appearing for some reason. So you need it here, but you don't need it here apparently. Okay. So validated value must be less than 500. Let's play that. Okay, perfect. So you get them all as well. Okay, EH must be 500, name must be not blank. So that's nice. You actually get all of them together, not just one. So it doesn't feel fast. It completes it and then comes back. It's quite nice if you have form validation. That we have this out of the box, because usually the user would like to see all the errors that have happened rather than just one. So that's cool. Overall, I'm pretty happy with this library. I mean, I'm pretty sad it's not supported on input types yet, but I'm optimistic that it will be, and let's just verify that. So let's go inside this guy, and let's write not blank. Let's restart that. Let's remove this. Create bank account. Make this blank. It should fail, but it doesn't. So it doesn't seem to validate on the nested objects. Maybe there's something I've missed, or maybe there's something we can add to make this propagate through. But overall, for the library, I'm happy that we can get it working here. And if you have flat objects, that's pretty good. But if you have these, unfortunately, it's not supported at the moment. But let's hope that it does. And maybe at the time when you watch this video, it actually is supported. Because, yeah, developments move fast. New releases are put out, and I hope that actually this does work on the nested objects whenever you're watching this video. So thank you very much for watching this, and yeah, thanks for actually learning this tutorial with me. I mean, this is the first time I'm really using this today, and overall I'm happy. I won't be moving forward with this on the projects I work on in production, because I don't think it's mature enough, and the fact that it doesn't do basic features like supporting the validation on the actual nested objects. But if that was supported, I may consider it as part of a refactor and effort. So So thank you very much for tuning in, watching this, and I'll see you guys in the next episode.